Hello, my name is Charlene DeChico. It is with sincere passion that I am eager to learn about people, culture, true history, and the overall human experience. Join with me as I embark on this journey. This is your Community Spotlight.
I just want to mention my thought is MHA Nation has created resources, addiction resources and sobriety resources in a way I think unheard of nationwide, in my opinion. And I think a big aspect of that has been how fortunate we've been to have a physician on the Tribal Council. So with that, I'd like to ask Councilwoman Mayer, Dr. Mayer, to come up and say a few words. She, as you know, she spearheaded the creation of the Door Resource and Recovery Lodge, first of its kind. And I do believe that that started the path the tribe went down. And now we're in a good place and probably only going to get better. But let's have a round of applause, a few words from Dr. Mayer.
I'm Dr. Mayer. For those of you who don't know me, I am, my Indian name is Hochbadi Sagesh, good medicine. And I'm the oldest daughter of the late Avis Baker Mayer and the oldest granddaughter of the late May Howard Coffey. I was told to introduce myself by my grandmother to people that you speak to so they'll know who you are and where you came from in your family, and out of respect for our matrilineal society. So, I'm just a little res girl. Grew up right here in Newtown, right on the corner there. We've lived since 1968. And I graduated from Newtown High School. I went off to college, and I got a Bachelor's of Science degree in education, went into pre-med, medical school, residency. So I got 16 years of college behind me, and I became a physician. Then I practiced medicine for 25 years, and all in Indian country. So I've been to Spirit Lake, I've been to Belcourt, I was their chief medical officer. I've been to all the South Dakota tribes because I was the chief medical officer for the entire Aberdeen area, 19 hospitals and clinics. And so I visited every one of them and worked their ERs. There's only 7 hospitals in the whole North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska. So I retired from medicine, and then I ran for office. When I came home, my mother was ill, so I came home to care for her. And I think my mother said I should go to the doctor and have my brain checked because I lost my head and ran for office here. And I won. So that was in 2016. I ran for office, and I won. And you guys all know how tribal politics are. It's like, whoa. But I was the first woman ever elected to North Segment since 1934, since we've been doing elections and stuff. So it was pretty rough the first 4 years, but during that time, I utilized all my medical skills and knowledge and experiences because I saw firsthand the addiction problem in the ERs. And it wasn't just fentanyl or meth or heroin. It was alcohol, which was legal. And in Indian country, as your chief medical officer, I declared at IHS that the #1 scourge and Indian problem on the reservations is substance abuse. Drugs and alcohol is killing the fabric of all of our Indian people and our ways and our family structures and just even our basic decency towards one another. So the minute I got elected the first thing I did was went down and visited with the First Lady of North Dakota, who happens to be a friend of mine, Catherine Burgum. And so I wrote for 2 grants. We got, was it Tila, was it 2 grants? 2 grants. And we opened up the door. And it wasn't the door then. I just had an idea for people who went to treatment. When they came back home, they had no place to go. Nowhere. Nothing to do. And they were hiding out in grandma's basement. A lot of them. And couldn't get a job. So, in fact, that damn Tila over there, I'm sure you guys all know who Tila is, right? Well, that damn Tila, one day I was in the Jack and Jill grocery store, you know, you gotta go through those aisles like this, you know. Here, I looked down that one aisle and there was Tila. She was really picking something out. So I looked at her and I said, Tila? She looked at me and she instantly got scared. I said, what are you doing? Nothing. I said, are you working? No. Where are you living at? In Mom's basement? You know, and Tila was a wicked addict, boy. I'm telling you, she was the toughest of the tough, right? So I said to her, hey, you show up at my office tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock and I'll put you to work. And she said, okay. So next morning, she was sitting at my office at 10 minutes to 8, just sitting there waiting. Came in, and I said to Tila, she told me, I can't get a job. It's hard for a felon to get a job. You know, and Tila was rough. I mean, you know, she did it all. Well, she's going to do something. She does it right. So she shoots between her toes and her neck and fights with the, police and gets thrown into federal jail, prison for a few years and beats people up. She was tough. That's because her brain was all messed up on drugs, right? So when she got clean, it was like this big cloud. You guys know what I'm talking about. Comes off. And it's like, oh shit, is this how life is? This is how you're supposed to live? So I put her to work and I said, I got an idea for a sobriety wellness or center or something like that, sobriety, for people to come home and get their driver's license, help with that. Because I know all you guys have trouble with your driver's license, with your high school diploma, and if you're uneducated Indian, you're a knucklehead. You're not going to be able to do nothing if you're a knucklehead. You got to educate your brain and help them with all the resources that they need to get them transitioned back into the community. So we I called it Sobriety House. Well, the staff that I hired, and I told Tila, I need you to be peer support trained. We're going to peer support train everybody so we can help each other. And I'm not doing the work. I'm just your little leader that's kind of going to push you guys in the right way. And so she did. And the staff is the one that came up with the door, to open up the door to a new, better life. In the meantime, I was fighting the Tribal Business Council. As a physician, I was working with 6 men who, I had a couple that didn't even have a high school diploma, so, it was rough. But I convinced them that we have to build the Good Road Recovery because we are a blessed nation with our oil and gas royalties. And we need to do this before we lose our people to drugs. And the council went with it. And hence we have our Good Road Recovery. And then after that I said, if you go to treatment, you guys, and go through the AA program, you got about a 20% chance of staying sober for 3 months. That's the success rate. But if we add on sober living, so if we extend treatment beyond 30 days and go 60 days, and then go 60 days with sober living, we can transition and get our percentage of success up to 60%. That's huge. And that will help us prevent relapsing. You know how frustrating relapsing is. My girl, she struggled like you guys did. And I know the deal. When you guys go out and steal quilts and sell them and get money to get a fix, and you're up all night, you know, vulturizing around, trying to find this or that, do this or that. Then you're at home during the day, sleeping all day, can't get a job, you know, can't finish school, and then on top of it, you think you look good. It's like, what the heck, you guys? Come on. You know, and isn't it so nice not to be sneaking around all the time and visiting with your family because you guys all wear your family out? And finally, some of them just say, get the hell out of here. Right? I even had to slap up my baby. I got so frustrated, you know, oh my God, Lord help us. And so we got sober living, 9 houses now. And yep, throughout the MHA Nation. We spent a lot of money, probably close to $100 million in the last 5 years on addiction. Sending people off to Phoenix, to Florida, because we didn't have our own treatment center. We got our own, we had to get it open, we had to get it staffed, we had to get it accredited, then we built the sober lodges. And it never ends. Because once you're an addict and in recovery, you always will be. Just a hair away from relapse. And so, relapse is higher if you don't have nobody to talk to, and no place to go, and no services to get. And all of you need faith, a job, and a home. You all have to have that. That's going to help you stay sober, and a purpose. And the biggest purpose right now is this group in here that are in recovery need to help others who are in that black, dark hole that you guys were in. You need to stop being a bunch of Indian crabs in a bucket. So when one crab raises their hand and says, I want to get out, you help them out, and then that crab will turn around and grab another little Indian crab. That's the way it works. We got to help each other, regardless of what tribe we're enrolled in. We're all Indians, and we're all have similar bloodlines. And so we have people in our community, your grandmas, your grandpas, you know, it's kind of sad because we have some very wealthy people here, and their grandkids are swindling them out of money so they can go and drug. So now we're instituting laws to prevent that. And so I had to, when I came home, there was only one law enforcement officer in Newtown, and there were needles all over, there was tinfoil all over, so we got it all cleaned up. And now, today, we have 37 total police officers in the tribal force. 9 of them are on duty here alone. And I'm telling them, I don't care who they are, pick them up. Drunk driving, drugs. If they're suspicious and you got probable cause, stop them. But there's so many pieces to this puzzle. Make sure you go and take good care of your body and your health. Make sure you follow your way and have strong faith in whoever your Lord may be. And I always tell all my staff, North Segment has 95 staff members. And so we opened up the door, and the First Lady, my first term, opened up the Recovery Reinvented based it off me. And me and her have been very, very close friends for many, many years. And she accreditates, because I drove down there and sat with her in the governor's residence and told her about what my eyes have seen in Indian country from an ER doctor, from a resident, from a political point of view. Working together, we've come a long way, but we got a ways to go yet. You all know that. And it's in your guys' hands to do that. There are people out there, and I want to point her out. Adeline, if you'd please stand. She's an elder, one of my most respected elders and a staunch supporter of me. This is Adeline Brunzel. And, you know, I got my first job when I was like 14 at the BIA, because how many years did you serve at the BIA? How many? 30 years plus. She worked in the realty department. And she was my first boss. And my mother and her were close friends, so she's always been a friend. And during my second term, so that first term, I barely got in. The second one was during COVID, and I landslided it. And made history because it's never been landslided before. Then I ran my third term in September, and I landslided that one too. So, now, I always say, if you want to get something done around here, you got to have a uterus. But Adeline came to me because she loves her granddaughters dearly. And once this disease gets a hold of you guys, it's hard to get away from it. I know. It's hard. It just consumes everything. And that's what it did to her grandchildren. And she struggled with that. These grandmothers and these mothers, they really hurt when you get infested with this disease. And she came to me and we got through it. And I'm proud to say that Corrine and Rice and Adeline, they've gone through their struggles, but their girls now are doing good. And I'm happy for them. We would have lost their talents and their skills if you hadn't keep pushing forward and not get frustrated when they relapse for the fourth time. My Monica's relapsed a few times, 3 or 4 times. That's her over there in the white coat. She's probably getting mad at me. Yay! And that's my son there. Their brother and sister. Nathaniel's my chief of staff. But I wanted to thank Adeline because she sponsored this dinner for you. So, she just wanted you guys to get together because of Christmas. It's about Jesus' birthday. And we have to remember that. And it's about our children. So the most important thing is that you addicts, 1, you have faith. 2 is your family, your children. Don't let them grow up seeing you the way you were. Stay sober for them. Give them a chance to have a life. And 3, help serve others. I love that. And, you know, I tell my high school kids, because I'm trying to get in there, get them to say, you know, no, from this drug dealer, we don't want nothing to do with this. And I tell them all the time. When I came home, our high school graduation rate was 52%. Our school attendance was like 55%. I mean, it was horrible, and there were drugs everywhere. So I got school resource officers, we got a school nurse, we got, you know, I got 9 canine dogs, and they go and sniff around all over town. And so I get into schools and tell the kids, go to school every day! What's the matter with you, knucklehead? Just by going, you're gonna learn something. I don't want no knucklehead Indians around. 2, work hard for what you want. Don't be no Fort Indian. And I said, you know, my grandma May, she passed away when she was 91, and she told me her grandmother said, back in the late 1800s when they were all rounding us Indians up and putting us on reservations, the cavalry forts would throw out rotten meat to those Indians that would come and beg. And my grandmother said, nobody in this family will ever beg for rotten meat. We will die working hard to take care of ourselves. And I lived by that all my life. And I'm telling you guys the exact same thing that I was told growing up. You have to work hard for what you want. And everything in your life is about work. You gotta work to be born, work to be a good kid, work to be a good student, work to have a, if you wanna be an athlete, you gotta work and practice on that. You wanna work to graduate, you gotta work to have a relationship, you gotta work to have a job to pay your bills, you gotta work to be a good parent, you gotta work to be a good Everything in life is about work. And if you're scared to work, oh, God help you. So, and lastly, I tell my kids, no drugs. Nobody ever successful in their life was strung out on drugs. Drugs is a disease, and it's a devil's disease, because the devil takes over you.
Amen.
Yeah, it does. Tila. And I have another one, Jenna. She works for me too. Maybe some of you guys might know Jenna. She was a hardcore addict too, right? I remember Jenna walking down the street and I looked over and she was talking to herself and homeless and strung out, man. I was like, okay, cops are gonna pick her up, put her in. You know how many EDOs I've signed here on Fort Berthold? Oh my God. And put Jenna in jail. And it had her come over to the clinic, because I was the doctor over there, and she kind of came over in her little shackles and her orange jumpsuit, I looked at her, I said, what the F? I said, you know what? You got a damn devil in you. And we have to exorcise it. You need an exorcism to get rid of that devil. And, she started crying. I said, don't be crying in front of me. You know I don't like that to make me feel sorry for you, and I don't. So no crying. Jenna got sent off to Harlan, Montana, 6 months in prison. And she came back and she's been sober. She went there, she was homeless, she had nothing. And she came back and she's my chief of staff's executive assistant for the past 8 years, has her own home, has her own car, got married, has a kid. I mean, good paying job. She did it. And now she works in my arts and crafts center. Runs that too. So there is purpose for everybody in here to pursue whatever it is that you're good at, that the good Lord gave you a talent for. So again, I want to thank Adeline and her family for always being there. And I want to thank you guys for coming out and seeing each other and having a good time. And, I wish everybody the very, very best journey that you can make for yourself and your children and your families, because that's the way us Indian people are going to dig ourselves out of this damn mess. So, thank you for listening to me, and God bless everybody here. Merry Christmas.
Real quick, on behalf of all of us here, we want to give our visitors from Spirit Lake, if a representative can come up, we got a couple Walmart cards, $100 each. You guys can swing by and grab some snacks.
I love you too. I love all you guys, man. This wouldn't even be possible for us guys, for somebody in recovery and somebody that's in sobriety today. And what do we lo and behold, and what do we hold dear to our hearts, we are grateful for, is Creator Father God today, man. He gave us all that second choice, third, fourth, fifth, however many chances you guys got, we're still here, right? And the only other person that I always have in my background of my addiction story is Nathaniel too. If you guys ever believe that. We were just talking about that. But I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't stand by myself at home, you guys. If I wasn't gonna stand here by myself, that Dr. Mayer said that I could stand here by myself and give me the strength and tell me I could, I wouldn't be here. I was too scared when I got home. Like she said, we couldn't have a job. We didn't have places to go. We had nothing. We didn't even have good road. This was 6 years ago. 6 years, and it was me, Nathaniel, and Jenna. I think that we're in our age in recovery. Nathaniel's not my age, but like in our age, like for being young. But that's it. Like, I seriously am grateful and thankful that Nathaniel could get a job, to even give me even give a glance at. Doc for giving us a second choice to have recovery, to have a place. And how far and what we've done with places and in recovery and sobriety. And I love it because me and Ed can go back and forth on and all kinds of good stories, and P-Town and all kinds of stuff. Bo, the staff I have today can be any one of you guys that are trying very hard in your recovery today. One of my huge factors that I had dealt with, which was huge, that Dr. Mary had talked about, was Monica. She was, and I can talk about it today because my brother was in the same spot, and my brother is still lost in his addiction today. Seeing each and every one of you guys and knowing that Monica came back and she wanted to be back and that she was strong enough to come back. Don't get me wrong, we talked about it many times. She'd call me when she wanted me to pick her up someplace, and not good places when I was in sobriety. But I do that for her because I needed to be picked up too. It doesn't matter to me if it was 10 minutes to 10 months to 10 years to 11 years of sobriety or recovery. You guys are still right here trying. And the impact we can do today for the MHA Nation, and now just not here in the state of North Dakota and all over in Indian country, is going to be beautiful. That's what I say, because we're broken, we're wrecked, we're slaughtered, we're all those pieces, but we're all put back together in all the right places. I really feel like that, you guys. So it doesn't matter what you guys are doing, you guys are always welcomed at the door and all in every one of our events. So I hope you guys eat good. I'm very happy that we can have things like this. I'm very grateful, and the first time ever, and I know I wasn't gonna say it either. I wasn't gonna say it, but this is the first time a family had stepped up and catered one of our events. Food. I really feel like that. The first time in 6 years, but that's what I do, and that's what I want to be, is that advocate for that somebody in recovery, for that family. That's what it's about, because I have to do that today. I had to pick up 3 children because they didn't need to live that life of addiction anymore. So that's what I am about today too. My life changed at a 360 a year ago, but knowing you guys are putting back your families together is what makes me stronger, because I'm a new sober parent, mom, auntie, mom again in this life. Like, I really am. I get that choice today. But I need that, and I need you guys. I need meetings. I need to see sober faces. I need to see what's going on in your head and heart, so I know that I'm not by myself in this recovery life. So with that, here we go, Nathan.
Here's to another great holiday season. Have a Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Happy Holidays from Reynolds Insurance.
Merry Christmas from your friends at Cornerstone Bank.
Have a Happy New Year.
Happy Holidays from J&J Rental.
Serving the Bakken and the MHA Nation since 2007.
Happy New Year.